I built this house to protect my family. But right here, I discovered my father sleeping with my wife. It wasn't the first time he betrayed me, but it's definitely the last time I'll stay silent. My name is Ethan Miller, 32 years old. I once thought my life was a textbook example of the stability and happiness many dream of. I had a good job in construction, a beautiful and gentle wife named Lauren, and a house I poured sweat and blood into building. Not just a shelter, but a symbol of my effort and love for my family. But perhaps I trusted too much in what's called family. My father, George Miller, was someone I admired since childhood. A strong man, skilled in carpentry, always teaching me about self-respect and sacrifice. In my eyes, he was the ideal father, until the truth unraveled that sometimes the one who stabs you in the back is the person you trust most. My mother passed away 2 years ago from a severe illness. Without hesitation, I brought my father to live with me and my wife. I thought it was the obvious thing a son should do. Lauren agreed, even encouraged me, saying, "He needs us, honey. Family is for loving and protecting each other." I believed that, but I didn't expect the house I painstakingly built would become the stage for the cruelest betrayal of my life. At first, everything was calm. My father spent most of his time in the woodshop behind the house, a space I designed for him to pass the time and keep his spirits up after such a great loss. Lauren often brought him coffee, chatting with him. I felt warm seeing my wife and father getting along so well. Then Chloe appeared. The granddaughter of Mrs. Henderson, our elderly neighbor, moved into care for her temporarily. Chloe, 22, vibrant and somewhat rebellious, started hanging around the woodshop, claiming she wanted to learn carpentry. I didn't think much of it, assuming my father was helping a young girl find her passion. But then I noticed strange looks, overly familiar laughter between them. One night, I came home late from an urgent project and saw my father returning from Mrs. Henderson's house. His eyes gleamed with satisfaction, his shirt disheveled as if he'd just had some fun. My gut told me the truth, but I chose to ignore it. He's old, she's an adult. I shouldn't interfere. I reassured myself with that foolish reasoning. But Chloe was just the beginning. I didn't know that behind the doors of my own house, a far more repulsive tragedy was quietly unfolding. After that, I started paying closer attention to my father's actions. Chloe appeared more often, not just in the woodshop, but in my house. Lauren welcomed her warmly, even brewing tea and offering snacks as if she were a cherished guest. I don't know why I overlooked such obvious signs back then. Maybe because I didn't want to believe that the father I respected could be involved with a girl half his age, and the neighbor's granddaughter, no less. One afternoon, I came home early and heard giggling from the woodshop. I approached, and the door was ajar enough for me to see Chloe sitting on my father's lap, her arms wrapped around his neck in a provocative way. I turned away, filled with disappointment. But then I told myself it was his personal business, and I had no right to interfere. I stayed silent. And that silence enabled a greater tragedy. Despite trying to ignore it, I sensed a shift in my family's atmosphere. It wasn't just Chloe, but the interactions between my father and Lauren, things I'd never noticed before. The looks they exchanged when they thought I wasn't watching. The seemingly accidental touches. The hushed conversations that stopped when I entered the room. One night, I woke up to get water. Passing the living room, I saw a dim light. Curious, I approached and froze when I saw Lauren and my father sitting close on the sofa. His hand rested on her back in a way too intimate for comfort. Lauren jumped up when she saw me, stammering that they were just talking because she couldn't sleep. I said nothing. I looked at them, then turned and walked back to my room. But in my mind, a storm had erupted. I knew this time I couldn't keep pretending. I started planning. I needed the truth, not just to satisfy my anger, but to ensure they couldn't deny it. I installed hidden cameras around the house, living room, hallway, woodshop. I pretended to be busier with work, often coming home late to give them chances to reveal their true selves. Within a week, I had what I needed. Undeniable videos showing my father and wife entangled as if I never existed in their lives. I sat alone in my study, staring at the laptop screen, pain and rage surging within me. But I didn't lose control. I wouldn't make a scene. I wouldn't give them the chance to paint me as a pathetic loser. I wanted them to lose everything. I knew evidence alone wasn't enough. I didn't want a quiet divorce or to silently cut ties with my father. I wanted them to face humiliation before everyone they'd deceived. And the opportunity came. My father's 60th birthday was approaching. Lauren, with her familiar hypocrisy, eagerly planned a grand party at our house. She called every relative, friend, and former colleague of my father. All were excited to celebrate the model father and dutiful daughter-in-law. I smiled and agreed to all of Lauren's plans, even suggesting a large screen in the living room to display family memories. They had no idea they were preparing for the ruin of their reputations. That day, the house I once called home buzzed with unusual liveliness. Laughter echoed, endless praises for my father and Lauren. I watched it all, my heart cold as ice. I no longer felt pain, only contempt for the two playing their roles so well. When everything was in full swing, I stepped to the center of the living room, remote in hand, and announced, "Thank you all for coming today. Before we wrap up, I want to share a special video, a gift for my father and my soon-to-be ex-wife." The room laughed, thinking I was joking, but when the screen lit up, their smiles vanished. Images of my father and Lauren, in undeniable positions, played before dozens of horrified eyes. Whispers, gasps, then a deadly silence. Lauren screamed, rushing toward the TV, but it was too late. My father stood frozen, face red, eyes glaring at me with fury. I smirked, "Happy birthday, Dad." The next day, I filed for divorce. With irrefutable evidence, Lauren got nothing but shame. The house, the only thing she hoped to cling to, I decided to sell. My father was disowned by the family. Old friends turned their backs. He tried calling me, even showed up at my workplace begging to talk. I didn't see him. To me, he died the moment he got into bed with my wife. Lauren lost her job, her reputation utterly destroyed. Those who once praised her now saw her as a social stain. Chloe? She disappeared from town, forgotten by all. I moved to a new city, starting over. I founded my own construction company, pouring my heart into work to forget that filthy past. As time passed, I met Emily, an independent, strong, and straightforward architect. She wasn't like Lauren. Emily didn't sugarcoat life with sweet words. She lived practically and kept clear boundaries. We started as friends, then became seamless partners in work and life. I didn't tell Emily the full story. I only said I was betrayed by those closest to me. She didn't pry, just said, "What matters is you didn't let them define you." 2 years after everything collapsed, I got a text from an unknown number. "Ethan, please. Dad needs you." I didn't reply, but curiosity led me to look into him. My father was living in a rundown apartment in the suburbs, jobless, health ruined by alcohol. Lauren worked as a waitress in a small diner, face gaunt, no trace of the perfect wife from before. They lived together briefly but split over conflicts. The two who betrayed me couldn't even stand each other. I heard my father was ill, unable to afford treatment. Lauren was drowning in debt. Part of me felt satisfied, but another part just felt empty. I didn't need to act. Life had done it for me. Now, waking up each morning in my new apartment beside Emily, I know I've truly stepped out of the darkness. I no longer hold grudges. I see what happened as a costly lesson. Once, while cleaning out a closet, I found the USB with all the evidence from back then. I stared at it for a long time, then tossed it into the fire. The past no longer has power over me. I've learned this. Family isn't those who share your blood. Family is those who never stab you in the back, no matter the circumstances. And I, at last, have found my true family.